What a time, people. Prediction Markets Edge right here on the Early Line Sports Grid Network. Donnie right side and Joe Ranier the next half hour. A different way to invest your money in the predictive markets. And we do have a national championship game tonight. We have a Masters look ahead. We also have the NBA and also Major League Baseball. Joe, excited and ready to get down to the business today.
I'm excited, Donnie. Yep, we got a little something for everyone, including some big future markets there for the upcoming first major of the year. I believe the Masters will be here before we know it. So a lot going on here tonight, Donnie.
You know me, fading that Scotty Scheffler train, only to find Scotty Scheffler winning by 15 shots on Sunday, and my wagers and also investments up in flames. But let's get to the association tonight, winding down on an NBA season as we try to find who's going to have those seeding for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe into the play-in round. How about Detroit and Orlando going to tee it up tonight in Orlando, Joe? A 60% chance on Kalshi right now for Orlando not to be the victor. That's Detroit at 60. 40% chance here for Orlando. If we take a look at the point spread, Joe, 3.5. That's the favorite for Detroit. Currently trading at 50 cents, which means if you think that Detroit wins by 4+ points tonight, a $100 investment pays back $200. It's no juice on that one.
Yeah, no, and we're seeing a lot of interest here on Detroit. Orlando played last night, second of a back-to-back. They had to have a ridiculous fourth quarter comeback on the road against the Pelicans to even win that game. Now they got to travel home, take on a rested Pistons team who is trying to continue to keep pace and stay ahead of the Boston Celtics. So I also see the total rising, Donnie, and I think that's the way to approach this game. I can see both these things. Magic don't play defense anymore. It's not what they are. I don't even think they know what they are. I do think, though, that points could be coming in this game here tonight. So I agree with the movement to the over, and that's kind of where I would look in that market.
By the way, let's get to this next game here. It's the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. We talked about it early in the early line about where some of this marketplace was moving, which meant the New York Knicks were the favorites by -1, and that flipped over at the sportsbook to a favorite here, Joe, by the Atlanta Hawks. How about the New York Knicks in April the 4th, which is 2 nights ago on Saturday? That Saturday at 9 o'clock, the Knicks were trading at a 61.5% chance to win that basketball game. Fast forward to today. It's Atlanta with a 52% chance to win this game. So if you feel Atlanta's going to win this one outright, a $100 investment, Joe, would pay back $189. If you include the spread, which is currently trading at 48 cents, and you feel that Atlanta is going to win by 3 or more points tonight, Joe, a $100 investment pays back $209. The favorites now, the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, I mean, is it any shock, Donnie? The Hawks have won 13 straight home games, which is crazy.
Dominant.
Since February 22nd, they're 18-2 since February 22nd. 16 of those 18 wins by double digits. So it's not a shock here that they are actually doing as well as they're doing. C.J. McCollum, it was just a great pickup by them at the trade deadline here. Jonathan Kuminga coming to his own. It's essentially a totally different Atlanta Hawks team than started the season, and we know the Knicks have struggled on the road. So, yes, I understand where the market is looking at this. It's kind of hard to step in front of this Hawks train right now. I wouldn't suggest doing it in this spot either.
Certainly not. And by the way, hey, you can't trade your future superstar player away, which is Trae Young. They actually got better and way better, as Joe points out here. But if you think C.J. McCollum can hit 20+ points tonight on Kalshi, Joe, currently trading at 41 cents. That means a $100 investment would pay back $244. Let's get over to Major League Baseball. On the diamond we go. And how about Miami playing some pretty good baseball here? Cincinnati comes to town, and Miami's the favorite, currently trading at a 54% chance to win this game. So if you take them as the favorite, a $100 investment pays back $182. Underdog Reds and Miami at home. Jansen Junk on the mound tonight.
Kind of crazy. I mean, here we are, right? Reds coming off a sweep in Texas. Now they take on the Marlins, who had, like you said, maybe one of the longest games that we have seen against the Yankees there. But at least they didn't get off. At least they didn't get swept here. But I mean, both these teams, I don't want to say overperforming, 6-3 at this point on a very early season here, though. But both pitchers have been so far so good in their starts this season. It feels like, and it's not an over ballpark, Donnie, But both
No.
these teams have been hitting the ball really, really well. I still don't trust the bullpens. I think the over might not be a bad look here because both these offenses are seeing it really, really well right now.
Eugenio Suarez does not walk. He does strike out a lot.
Hmm.
It's all or nothing. If you think he's going to hit a home run tonight, Joe, how about trading at a 15% chance, which means a $100 investment pays back $625 tonight on our guy Gino Suarez to go yard. Let's take a look at the Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays. We previewed this in hour number 1 of the early line, a championship game review and possible preview here. The Dodgers are in town, and they are the favorites. No surprise here. Currently trading Joe Kalski at 55% to win this game. If you like Toronto, which has a 45% chance to win, a $100 investment pays back $228. The Dodgers back in town. Last time they were up there in the 6th, Joe, they were celebrating a world championship.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how you lose 3 games straight to the White Sox, Toronto. I'm having a hard time with that one here. And you got shut out yesterday, which is another head scratching situation here against the White Sox. But now Max Scherzer is going to stop the bleeding tonight against the Dodgers. You know what? If I'm doing anything, Donnie, I'm looking at the over. Here because I don't trust either of these pitchers right now. Injuries up and down, starting to pile up for both these teams. Yeah, 8.5 in that in the Rogers Center feels a little light to me. I'd be looking at the over here.
Little light here. Maybe Ohtani goes yard in this game. We'll see what happens. But certainly, last time they popped the champagne bottles in Toronto, tonight they're looking to just pick up a victory here. Speaking of picking up a victory tonight, you win one more game, you will be a national champion. That's Michigan and UConn tonight, teeing it up in Indianapolis. This game, Joe, going to start around 8:50 p.m. And Michigan currently trading as the favorite at 74% as a chance to win. If UConn can pull out that outright upset, Joe, currently trading at 27%, a $100 investment pays back $371. UConn has never lost in a championship game. That will be put to the test tonight, Joe.
You know, Donnie, this is the shining example of we've been talking in the predictive markets here since about the Sweet 16 that, you know, the way to approach these markets is that if you could have hopped in on UConn just to win it all, you could have got them in right around the Sweet 16, Donnie, of about what were they, 6, 7, 8 cents at the time. And we were telling you, listen, I don't care if they win it. I just need them to get to the championship game, and what we were able to buy in on them and what they are worth right now was going to be night and day. You knew Michigan or Arizona was going to be a big favorite over either Illinois or UConn. There was another opportunity to use the prediction markets there, not needing them to win anything, just needing them to get to the game. And you're looking at quite the profit right now along the way, Donnie. So it's another great example of why, yeah, I don't need UConn to win it. I just needed UConn to do exactly what they did. Make it to this game, and now you can cash out and just kick back and watch the game with the profits in your pocket.
How about a preview here tonight that we can take a look at the MOP for a Fade the Public poll? Sting! Sting, sting, sting.
Yes.
Yeah. To come to those who wait, Joe, you get all the spoils here, and so do we. Who is winning the men's tournament's most outstanding player, Joe? It's 3 Wolverines and 1 Husky. Mara, Lendabor, Cadeau, or Reed Jr. from UConn here if they pull the upset.
I'm shocked it's not 4 Michigan players, Donnie, at this point, the way the market is reacting. So, yeah. No, I definitely think it. The problem is it could be any one of a number of players on Michigan. If UConn pulls the upset, there is only one person going to be responsible, and it's going to be Reed.
Yeah, Reed's an absolutely monster down low. But also, you take a look at Lendabor. Yes, he's their best player, Big Ten player of the year. But if he's banged up and injured, somebody else has to basically go yard there. And we'll see what happens. More predictive markets on the way next. Don't you go anywhere.
We're proud of this class. This is the weakest Hall of Fame class in the history of the Basketball Hall of Fame. This is an embarrassment to the men and women that are deservingly in that Hall of Fame. And the dead ones are rolling over in their grave right now saying, get this basketball out of my gravesite because I don't want to be associated.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Italy can't make the World Cup. That's wildly embarrassed.
You know, Italy, to me, I think they're like the Cowboys, right? They're the Dallas Cowboys, basically. They're this ultimate sort of public team, big merch, like, you know, monsters.
That's a good one.
Yet they really haven't won in a while. But we're talking about a world superpower.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Find some opportunities to make yourself some money, or to find a middle, or man, that doesn't look right, I'm going to go under it, whatever, arbitrage, hedge. You could do all of these things. It's why we do these shows. And in-game betting, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money off of in-game betting. There's nothing wrong with in-game betting. I think it's much more good than it is bad. But sometimes for your own peace of mind, it is okay to just walk away and check on it later.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Discussion in March was, oh, this ABS is ruining everything. There's challenges in the second inning and the third inning. And yes, for CB Buckner, that has been the case. But for every other umpire in Major League Baseball, what you're seeing, Donnie, is exactly what you said. This is going to normalize. We did see a lot of success in the first couple of days of the season.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Bargain with Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. It is a Monday, a championship Monday on the network. Fantastic game setting up tonight. Michigan and UConn. Michigan struggles typically in the championship game. UConn is usually great in the championship game. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri. Now we're going to bring on Joe Cervenka. Why? Because we got some inside information that somebody has a pretty solid ticket on those Michigan Wolverines. Joe, welcome into the program today.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Let's have some fun with this because Joe, myself, and Joe Ranieri, we've been sitting here since basically last August, and we've been pumping the prediction markets, introducing it to the people, and telling you a different way to invest your money. And we always like to hear those stories. Oh, if I would have got in at this time or not. If we take a look at this national championship game tonight, which we're going to handicap in just a few moments, but tell us, Joe, how you went about, why you liked Michigan, and when you jumped in on those Michigan Wolverines.
Well, it's always the when, right? We're always kicking ourselves for the when, and we're hoping we got in the when at the right time. Thankfully, we got in January, so Michigan was a nice price then, about 16, 17 cents. I liked Michigan all year, really. Like their size, their big men can run the floor. Their big men have really high basketball IQs. They can find their guards when they need to, and they're constantly pushing the pace. So for a team with that kind of size up front that can run and actually put pressure on the opposing team's defense, like that is a huge combination you just don't see all the time in college basketball. So I was big on Michigan all season, and building up the SportsGrid prediction market pages on the website was a big part of that. So I can't take all the credit. Part of it was for the brand, but I believed in Michigan then, and I thought they were undervalued, and I still believe in them going into the game tonight.
All right, so I got to ask you here, Joe, because you got in at 16. I'm seeing 74 in the market right now. Are you hedging out? Are you holding on? Are you going to watch what's got? Do you believe in them so much that UConn doesn't have a shot tonight?
Well, I know the whales watching here and the big bosses up front are saying hedge, but I'm not a hedger. So when I go in, I got to go in, and with the name on the line and the pick on the website, I can't now back off and take the money and run. I think Michigan wins this game. I think they cover this game. So I think anyone on the UConn side, if you want to put something on, maybe you look at that. But right now, I'm seeing on Kelce it's up to 7.5, 46% for Michigan. I also like the over, if that's another angle you want to take here. But I honestly don't see how Michigan loses this game, even if Landenberg is more hurt than he's leading on. You know, he said he's going to play through whatever. He's going to play. He may be a little bit banged up, but I think even with him a little bit lesser than, I don't see how UConn can hang with these guys in the front court at all.
Yeah, hedging situations, it's always a pretty interesting opportunity. And when you take a look at the, prediction markets here, Joe, as you've known, you can get in and out at any time, but also using those statistics to your advantage. So many times, like Joe's talking about, hey, I took UConn. All I needed them to do was get to the championship game, and I got a nice profit. Now they're coming up as a decided underdog. But, Joe, you're taking the approach of saying the correct way, wait a second. If I got in at 16%, yeah, it looks good at 73%. But if you redo the math, I have 3 chances basically to win out of 4 for UConn to get beat tonight and Michigan to win. That's the smart advantage, letting this play out.
Yeah, I think so too. And like I said, if you want to maybe get some more value in the game, maybe you see what happens if UConn can sort of jump out to a lead and then you jump back into Michigan. But I think staying with this ticket, rolling with them right to the final is the way to go. And again, I just can't see a way UConn pulls this off. So I'm confident going in with Michigan. I'm staying with them, and I think the Wolverines are going to shake that supposed curse of winning it in the big game.
Getting the call from the suits here to try to convince you here that you can stay with the ticket, Joe, and you can also take the 7.5 with UConn and have a chance of winning both those bets. So you don't have to bet against yourself. You can middle it, right? Isn't that what it's all about?
It is what it's all about. So I'm not your professional gambler mentality, I guess. I just can't bet against myself and my team that I'm rolling with. I know I'm supposed to. The book says do it, but especially when it's something like a championship game, Super Bowl, national title in football. You want to roll with the horses that got you there, and you want to you don't want to play both sides sometimes. So I'm of that mindset. I know it's definitely not the smart way to go, but when you're rolling the dice, you got to keep rolling them sometimes.
Yep.
I love it. Stay hot out there, Joe. And by the way, the tagline above his head is SportsGrid's own Joe Cervenka. So, Joe, we have one of the best apps in the business, updated every day, a ton of information. I always like to say, you can follow your favorite host here. I think I should be followed more than anybody else. Joe, what are we doing on a day-to-day basis to keep this website hot, and what do we got going on?
So really the thing to look for now is in the last few months, we've really been building up these prediction market models. So you'll see everything from March Madness to World Series winner, NBA Championship has just been added. If you're a soccer fan, we have World Cup, we have Champions League as well, which is going to get going again for the quarterfinals this week. So you can take a look at predictive models there. You can see breakdowns for every team, every matchup, and track where the line has been going and why. You'll see on our line, why you'll see a dip. That could have been a big injury. That could have been a big loss. All those data points will be there on the graph, and you can follow along all season in all of these different markets.
I love it. I think it's smart stuff that we do here at this point. Also, the up-to-date information, very easy. You got the videos on there. You can listen along with us. You can watch along with us, and a lot of great stuff up there, Joe. And also, from what I'm hearing, too, did you take out maybe a ticket on the Philadelphia Flyers who win the Eastern Conference Finals at 2% Okowski? Did I get that right from the people in the back?
Oh.
I did not.
Don't get sucked in, Joe. Don't do it. Don't get sucked in, Joe.
Hey, I'm in Leafs land, so I've got it much worse than you Philly fans do. So
there we go. Hey, man, tough scene. We're looking to get back into the playoffs. Maybe we do, Joe, but great talking to you this morning. Awesome stuff going on the website here at this point. And congratulations. I don't want to jinx you, so I can't say that. Great ticket so far in Michigan. We hope that you cash in that ticket tonight. Once again, Joe, thanks again for joining us here on the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great one.
There you go, Joe Cervenka, SportsGrid's own Joe, building out great models and great information. And yes, we love the Predictive Markets show. And he goes, you know what? Michigan was my team there back in January, and away we go. How about that? And away we go, people. We're out to the break. We'll be back.
So much to get into.
So much to get into, so little time. Listen, this is a time of year where it's great basketball. Teams that have to be at their best. Some teams at their best for 40 minutes. Some teams at their best for 36 minutes. But at the end of the day, you got to play your best 40. Otherwise, you're going home like we saw over the last couple of days.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Why are all these contracts being signed, folks? Yes, the players are talented. Yes, they are deserving of it, but it's such goodwill to hand out these buyout arbitration contracts for these young players this time of the year, right before opening day, to get all their fans excited. And notice, right before the Pirates' home opener, not before opening day, before their home opener, it's a setup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Kansas City trading as a favorite, Joe. Do we think that's the possibility of that first game?
Yeah, they should make it the Jets, Donnie, so they can guarantee a win in front of their fans to open up the set. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do. But no, I mean, ideally the NFL would love a Kansas City reunion at Buffalo in the new stadium.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
There's a basketball player who's 7'9". He's insignificant on his team. And quite frankly, I don't know if he goes Division 1, 2, or 3 at this point and will be significant. Joe, how can you be 7'9" and not be able to get on the court in college basketball? Shouldn't he be maybe, I don't know, the most dominant shot blocker in the history? I watched Manute Bol be a really good player at times in the NBA.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Prediction Markets Edge on a Monday here. No better place to be on the Early Line, and also on the SportsGrid Network. Had some fun talking to the people behind the scenes that make this website great, and also with a legitimate investment here in the Michigan Wolverines. We'll see if that rides out. But as we asked here, Joe, coming up and saying, you know what? Where's the public going on our Fade the Public poll? It was a question on the MOP. That's the most outstanding player. Did you know the favorite right now is Mara from Michigan? And I agree with that. Second is Lendeborg trading at 23%. We don't know how healthy he's going to be tonight. So my choice actually would be Mara, Joe. But you know if UConn wins, maybe it's a three-point shot, maybe it's Mullins, maybe it's not. Tarris Reed Jr. is going to be a force tonight, and he's UConn's chance. So the MOP, Joe, investments, where are you going?
Depends on who you think's going to win this game, right? So if you're on Michigan, it makes sense to look at Lendeborg, right? If you like UConn, then yeah, Reed is the guy. Not to mention that the backstory where, don't forget, Reed spent the first 2 years of his college career where? At Michigan. So this is it would absolutely write the story would write itself if UConn was to win this game, and if they are to pull the upset, it's going to be because of Reed, and I think that's where the value is here.
Value there. We'll see who's the MOP. We'll see who's the champion tonight. But how about this? We have a fantastic race for Rookie of the Year in the NBA. And on the Kalshi Marketplace, we've had some unbelievable turns. And this goes to show you, Joe, some people will look and say, well, Cooper Flagg wasn't going to win it here. Con Knipp was setting the record for three-point shots made. But how about this, Joe? And you might look at the odds and be like, why would I go against Con Knipp on April the 3rd, which, again, it's only April the 6th. Joe, Con Knipp was trading at 88.5% to be the Rookie of the Year. Why would I bet on an underdog and just throw my money away? Well, here's why. Fast forward to today. Cooper Flagg is trading at 67% chance to now be the Rookie of the Year. So if you got in when he was back at 16%, that is a windfall. But it just goes to show you, market speculation, what actually happens, the way to let it play out, you can find some of these gems. Cooper Flagg, now the favorite, when just a few hours ago it feels like he was the decided dog in this race.
Yeah, and well, you know what it was? Cooper Flagg started slow. It took him a little while to adjust to the league, but once he got it going, he got it going. And keep in mind, this is not a very good Dallas Mavericks team, but at 19 years old, he's the only teenager, I believe, in the history of the NBA to drop 50-plus points on a team, which is what he did on Friday. He followed that up with what, a 45-burger last night to take down the Lakers. So, yeah, I mean, both of these guys, former teammates there at Duke that ended up losing to Florida in the national championship and are now battling number 1 and 2 in the Rookie of the Year. Yeah, it's what do you think matters more? The the 3-point shot or the all-around play of what Cooper Flagg is doing? It's going to be close, I'll tell you that. Still some games to separate each other here, though, coming up.
Yep, and also one game to separate who's going to be the champion, who's going to be in second place tonight in the NCAA championship game, which also then, once that game is over, we start to put our focus, Joe, on who the number one overall draft pick in the NBA is going to be this spring. A.J. Dibansta, currently a favorite at a 67% chance, Joe, on Kalshi to take that down. Did you know on February the 4th, roughly 2 months ago, it was Peterson trading at 68%. Darren Peterson today trading at 25%. Another big market swing there. But Dibansta is the favorite, Joe, to be the number one overall pick in the NBA draft.
Well, listen, I mean, we've known this all year long. I still think that Peterson's game is more NBA ready right now. And I think a lot of this, Donnie, depends on the ping pong ball and the needs of that team, which I know could vary. So I still think Peterson is more ready for the NBA. So I would tend to think that he is the guy that is likely going to be the number one pick.
Now, you got a couple chances at this right here on the Kalshi Predictive Markets. You can go number one overall pick or also players drafted in the top three. No surprise, the heavy favorites, Joe. Peterson, Dibansta, and also Boozer. But could it be that maybe a Caleb Wilson sneaks in there, albeit injured at the end of the season, or Darius Acuff Jr.? You know the NBA. You know a good guard when you find one. It's Acuff. He's only trading at 14%. Once again, Joe, not to be the top pick, but just to make it into the top three.
Yeah, and that's also a very good hedge there, Donnie, because that is why so many teams have been accused of tanking this year. Keep in mind is that this crop of freshmen is the best that we have seen in a very, very long time in college basketball, Donnie.
You want to have some fun with this one too, Joe? How about the top 10 draft market in the NBA on Kalshi? You know what? I want to maybe grab a Pepsi or a Coke, 20-ounce, maybe a 16-ounce can. A $100 investment would pay back $102, Joe, if Dibansta is chosen in the top 10. How's that sound to you?
Yeah, well, Dibansta is going to be chosen in the top 10. I can assure you of that. So that's that. Listen, it's still free money, right, Donnie? Still free money. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Caleb Wilson, 99%. Boozer, 97%. Dibansta, 96% as a chance. By the way, how's that not 100% as a chance here at this point? Crazy times, but that's what happens on the predictive markets here. We'll see you tomorrow for another exciting edition on the Early Line.